All right, welcome to this edition of Wolfgang on the Internet. I am Wolfgang and I am on the Internet. We're going to be talking about Facebook stuff as we were in the last episode, last being first ever episode. So I'm just going to keep fumbling, stumbling through all this kind of stuff as I learn to use the recording software and just kind of winging it. Really not doing it the right way, but hopefully we'll get some information across and, be a good time kill, if anything. So last time we talked about Facebook cover and how it could only be set to public and the privacy issues that can ensue with that once people start commenting on your public page, or I'm sorry, your public picture there. So let me just go back. Today we're going to talk about creating a list. Creating lists are really good for choosing your audience, like who you want to see or not see any specific posts. I think if most people knew about this or thought about this, they could have fun with it and be a little more the more responsible people could be a little looser with some comments, knowing that only a certain audience would be able to see them, or maybe others wouldn't. A good example would be people you work with. Say there's posts that you just don't want coworkers or family to see. That's a good time to have a list, maybe a list called coworkers or colleagues. So let's do that. All right, I got my fake Facebook page here with fake Facebook friends for educational purposes. So let me go to my friends list. So I'm going to click here. Go to friends. And say I want to create a list called coworkers. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pick someone here. I'm going to hover over friends. I'm going to choose add to another list. This is an important one right here. Click that. You'll see that there are some defaults that are chosen for you. I guess there was some group called Chicago and New Year's Eve Ball that maybe that is the reason this person is on my Facebook, because I just was randomly clicking everything, and this must have been one of the things. Here it's cold down there in Chicago these days. Anyways, I'll just uncheck that for no reason. Alright, so I had already created a list called coworkers, but just for the sake of educational purposes, I'll go ahead and, let me see. I'll go ahead and create another one. I'll just call it, people I work with. Alright, so I'm going to go to new list. Click there. You'll see that the cursor gets activated in a little box. And here, I'll just call it work peeps. Alright. Hit enter and you'll see that it's now bold and checked. Alright. So now that I've created that list over one of my friends here, you'll see I'll hover over another random person. Again, go to add to another list. Sorry about that. Add to another list, and we'll see now the list exists for everyone else. So work peeps is here. So let's say I work with this oil Lennox Gen person. I'm assuming that's a person. I'm going to click work peeps. Now they're on my work peeps list. Let's do it to a couple more people here. Hover over this box, add to another list. It's getting away from me. Here we go. Add to another list, work peeps. Alright. So, here's how this could come, one of the ways it could come in handy. Let me say I want to just post something. Let me get back home. I'm going to post something. Alright. All right. Let's say I post something like that. Now, I'll want to choose. Well, here we'll see that it's on the last setting I chose when I was messing around with this. But usually, it seems like a default setting is public. You'll post something, you'll see it says public if you've never messed with this before, and that is just bad. Bad, 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 bad. There's no reason for the entire stinking tap dancing earth to see your posts. You're not a celebrity. You're just no. You're not. You're making a choice for all of your friends that everyone can see your site and everything they say and comments on your page. The whole world gets to see it. It's just dumb. Don't have your stuff set to public unless you've made it perfectly clear and you're doing some kind of marketing or advertising for something. But if it's your only page, and assuming you're using your real name, which is still beyond me why people would use their real name when your friends know who your fake name is. That's all you need. I just do not get that. Anyway, enough preaching. All right, so if you hover over this, you'll see a little call out thing that says public. You can click on that. Again, you see it's set to public. You could choose friends. Now, if I chose friends, only my friends would see this post once I click post. Only me, well, I don't know. Maybe you're composing some brilliant, ingenious, witty post. You use Facebook to just try to be the wittiest person in the world or something. You get all kinds on Facebook. I don't know. Be who you want to be. Anyway, maybe you just want to compose. It's a work in progress. Maybe you want to think a little bit before you hit post, which is always a good idea, like when you're writing an email, just to type it all out and just save it and sit on it if it's something that could be a little bad. So let's say I do only me. I could even post it and get back to it later. You'll see there's a little lock there. It says only me. Then I decide, okay, I'm going to go back in and edit this. Edit post. I'm going to not call everybody in the office a punk. I'll delete that. Done editing. Okay. Now back to the privacy thing here. All right. We've seen public, which is dumb. Friends, where all your friends can see your stuff. Only your friends. And then only me, which may be the only reason I could think of is to just post, type something, come back to it later. And then here, we have custom. Even though you do see here that, I guess because it's recently made and Work Peeps is one of the options. But let's just go to custom here. Okay, since only me is set, you're only getting this as opposed to what you're going to see next. Normally you get this don't share with, and you have that choice. So here we have it set to where all our friends can see it, but once I enter a group in here, those people will not be able to see it. So let's say I start typing Work Peeps. You see it on the list, Work Peeps. Now, what you'll also see on here is restricted. That we'll get to another time. It's pretty much restricting people from seeing anything. But I like to really customize and make my own list and decide who gets to see what. But for this discussion about not letting work people see your post or a specific post, we just put Work Peeps, that group we created, into don't share this with. So everyone that we had marked as Work Peeps, and that's a one-time thing. Once you mark them as Work Peep, you don't have to keep marking them as, under work Peeps. You could always uncheck them if, they don't work there anymore with you or whatever. But all the people that are marked in the Work Peeps group, they're not going to be able to see this post. Okay, where did it go? Here we go. Holy crap, work is freaking horrible. I hate work. So here you'll see the sprocket, hover over it, and it gives you a little summary of what's going on there with the privacy settings. So friends, that's everyone that can see it, but then you have the exception there. Except work peeps and restricted. Again, don't worry about the restricted for right now. Just when in doubt, have restricted set in there. So now, if you go ahead and post something else, it's so sunny outside. Well, it's not going to be sunny inside, but whatever. Here. It's so sunny outside. So it looks like here it's still set to, it's still defaulting to only me. Which, you know, could be worse. Could be defaulting to public. I'm not sure why it's doing only me now. I think... Get out of there. Alright. So it's so sunny outside. Friends. And I post it. But, you know, another thing. Oh, here, hold on. Let's post something and set the restrictions before we ever post it. Because before I think we just kind of posted it when it was only me and then changed it. But it's basically the same thing. Let's see. Right now it's set to friends. Okay. I still always like going into custom and seeing what's up here, because then if there is anyone you ever have marked as restricted, you know, they won't see the post. I have my own list called restricted partial, which we'll get to another time, just another privacy group idea. So right here, my friends can see I love the frickin' sun. Okay, so that's the thing. To recap, you shouldn't be, if you're someone that's just posting all kinds of crap, you know, think about stuff you don't want, you know, maybe your coworkers to see. You know, and you definitely want to keep your stuff at least marked private. I'm sorry, friends, where only your friends can see it. Maybe your friends of friends if you're really kind of tame with what you post, and your friends list should always be just you. No one else needs to see your friends list. You know, we'll cover friends list in a later episode. But basically, so that's how you create your group. I'm gonna do a quick recap here. You can go ahead and close out, or just watch another quick little recap here as I create another group. Alright, let me go to friends. I'm going to say, you know, I want to create a group called sports. Or when I post something about sports, where I know people that really like sports, they'll be the only ones interested. I'm going to hover over friends. I'm going to say add to another list. Well, I'm not going to say it. I am now, but I'm going to click add to another list. I'm going to create a new one. Sports. With a Z, because I'm crazy like that. Alright, so he's in my sports list. And then Yugi Hindraswaro Osmoranto. I'm going to add to another list and choose. And there's sports. Now he's on the sports list. Is that a hand right there? What's the deal with that? Like something's crawling up on him. I don't know what that is. Greg Wood, paste eating champion. Wow. All right. Yeah, Greg Wood. Hover over this button. Add to another list. Sports. Now when I have something sportsy to say, like, let's see. so now hover over here. Again, gives you a little window as to the current settings. Click on the arrow, custom. Share with these people or lists. Here's what I'm going to do. Instead of just everyone except for a group, I'm going to share it only with sports people, only with a group. So I'm going to choose specific people or lists. Start typing. And once I hit S, since I don't have much going on my lists, I'm going to choose sports. It comes up right away. And in theory, it doesn't really matter what's in here because the only people are going to see it are sports. Unless you have someone who's also on sports and restricted, then the restricted would override the sports. So here I'm going to save changes. What will these people see after you post? When you share a post with a list of specific people, they will be able to see each other's names. No one will be told that they are on your close friends, acquaintances, or restricted lists. This hasn't affected old posts. Interesting. When you share a post with a list or specific people, they will be able to see each other's names. How do they mean that? That is something kind of new. I'm just going to have to check that out. Anyways, hit OK. Post. There you go. Let me go back to friends. Now if we just click on, instead of just hovering, we click on it, you'll see that it doesn't do anything. It's the same thing as hovering. So, in case you've been wondering that, click, 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 click. Alright, so that's a little thing on creating lists. I think over time I might touch upon that again, maybe when I'm looking at something else. Just every now and then I'll revisit some things, and Facebook is always kind of changing, and you got to keep on top of your privacy settings. We'll also be covering stuff like, not just privacy stuff, but just anything that you could do on Facebook. Some people aren't spending all day on Facebook. Even the ones that do are just unaware of some of the things you can do on Facebook. So thanks for tuning in, but please hit that little subscribe button, and I hope you come back. All right.